2 games today and 1 game tomorrow, so it ends up being a best of 3. And I guess they'll go home with the hardware anyway. You know, whoever wins this thing. So
if there's first and second place medals, both teams will be pleased.
There we go. Yes, absolutely. Somebody's walking home or driving home with something. But so that's where we are. Obviously, we are at Moylan Iceplex. We will be here tonight as well. It's a 6 o'clock Central Time start, and hopefully we'll be back on time by that point in time. We are a little bit late. We had a high school game that was ahead of us that just wrapped up a few minutes ago. But the Zamboni driver's done a good job of getting everything cleaned off. Not putting down a lot of water, Matt. I don't know if you noticed that. It seems like we're a little dry out there. It's almost more of a scrape without the flood.
Yeah. Quick turnaround times.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's good because it means what little water is on will freeze pretty quickly, but it doesn't do much for filling in the gaps, especially those left by the larger high school players, although we have some large lads of our own.
Well, this ice isn't known for being the greatest ice in Omaha either.
Sadly, that is the truth. We are in a 40-year-old building, and it shows its age in the corners and the edges, around the edges.
Would you consider this our home ice?
I suppose. I mean, it really is for the most part. This is where our practices are.
We spend the most practice hours on these 2 rinks here the most. So I would say we definitely call this our home ice.
Plus the factory is here where the boys spend 45 minutes to an hour once a week doing strength training. And I think this is probably regarded as OHC's home base.
Yeah.
Although all the arenas in the Metro get a pretty good workout. We'll be at Moto McLean Ice Arena tomorrow for the final game of this one. And that is a 10:40 Central Time start. Does that sound right?
That does sound right.
Let me pull out the phone, try not to drop it, and just double check that. Yeah, 10:40 Central Time. Tomorrow will be the 3rd and final game of this tournament for the fellas.
So some super minor but significant changes in the lineup for today's game.
Well, the Junior Mavericks are without Roman Stonebreaker, who obviously is a center, as we've seen him play all year long. So usually when a guy gets converted, it's a forward being converted to a different position. In this case, Abram Keeney, defenseman, is going to be playing center for this first game, and I would imagine for the entire weekend. And I know he's looking forward to that. He practiced at forward on Thursday, and Abram he's just a competitor. I think he'd probably play wherever you wanted him to play. And so we're looking forward to seeing Abram at center. He'll be joined by Will Allers, and I think Jack Davis will be playing center today. He was wearing the center penny during practice earlier in the week.
14U.
And
Bantams.
Expect Wyatt Tremaine to probably play a wing.
13 and 14-year-old.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
The great thing about hockey is that you can move guys around in game and sort of adjust on the fly. And that makes it a lot of fun. So with Roman out, with Abram moving up, the Junior Mavericks are going to play with just 5 defensemen this weekend. And that will obviously put, I'm not going to say pressure, I would say put the premium for those 5 guys to really be aware, because there may be times where you're going out there and you're playing a side that you're not used to playing on.
I like that choice by the coach. Abram's the type of player that can play the full length of the ice.
Right.
He's a hell of a back checker. He's a tremendous defenseman. He deserves some goals this year, so I am excited as heck to see him in the forward spot to score a goal. But I know the center is probably the better fit for him rather than the wing that he played last tournament or last friendlies, because this will allow him more ice freedom, positioning to actually back check and go down to the crease, down to the goal line to play defense on that side of the ice and crash the net on the offensive side of the ice.
Well, and as we've seen throughout the course of the year, Matt, and as we saw last year as well, Nick Bennett likes to use his centers in a very defensive role anyway. So they'll play high in the offensive zone, but centers are obviously going to be helping out in the slot, a place that Abram's going to be pretty comfortable with having played defense. So it's a great point.
This keep your eye out on number 90 or 91.
90.
90. This may be the trigger that signals him into a new position and a whole new game for Abram Keeney. Let's hope the best for this to work out.
Well, warm-up's clearly underway. We've got about a minute left to go before we play game number 1 of this best of 3. St. Peter's is a team out of suburban St. Louis, so these kids have come a long way to play against the Junior Mavericks. And this starts a real busy stretch for the Junior Mavericks. After this weekend, they will be in Des Moines next weekend for what should be a real tough tournament in West Des Moines. And the following weekend, Okoboji is sending a team down for a couple of friendlies on February 1st.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Then there'll be a couple of weeks off before the lads head to Minneapolis for a tournament over President's Day weekend. That'll be a Saturday, Sunday, Monday tournament for this game. It doesn't really matter that much. If this were, say, a sanctioned college game or pro game, the home team always gets the last line change. That's not strictly enforced at the youth level. The teams can just change no matter what. In goal this afternoon, or morning, afternoon, depending on where you are. I guess we're still morning. Last few words at the respective benches for these teams. Looks as if the Junior Mavericks, Matt, may have a little bit of a size advantage. But, of course, size is not everything. Skating is, I'd rather have a small team that can skate than a big team that's slow.
Absolutely.
And how about this? Abram Keeney's going to get the start in this game.
Opening face-off for Keeney. Here we go.
Yep. Abram is out there along with Paxson and Charlie Patera. And on the blue line, it'll be Nandy and Will Fleming.
I saw a Beast t-shirt over there at the stands.
So here we go. The Junior Mavericks skating from right to left in this first period. Abram leans in and a good face-off win. Get it back to his defenseman. Nandy for Fleming. Good pass rink wide, just a bit too far for Paxson. It'll go for icing. He had the right idea, just a little bit too far in front of Paxson, and the quick icing will bring the face-off back to the Junior Mavs end. We're playing 3 13-minute stop time periods. The only reason we wouldn't have stop time is if the game got out of hand either way. Abram again on the face-off, this time won by St. Peter's for a one-timer that's easily steered aside by Beast. And here comes Fleming trying to march it through traffic. He gets rubbed out, and the puck forced free. Chased down by Charlie. He'll chip it off the glass. Bang back the other way by St. Peter's. Little nudge in traffic, finds a player, and this one backhanded in. On Beast, he'll steer it aside. And back to get it is Fleming as St. Peter's changes on the fly. Good outlet, and Paxson will bring it up. Gains the red line and throws this one in. Now the Junior Mavericks will change, as St. Peter's will bring it ahead. Here's Sturba moving in, strips the puck off the player's stick. This one chipped by Bear up the glass, but knocked down by St. Peter's. They cough it up. Ahler's trying to clear, but can't. And Bear will pivot back with it. Bear, dangerous play, rink wide, tried for the outlet to Tremaine and missed him, and will roll all the way in on goal, so no icing, and this one paddled aside by the goaltender. Up the wall, Ahler's able to intercept. He'll dump it along to the corner. Ahler's got decked. Penalty coming up to St. Peter's as they touch up. The call finally comes down. And the Junior Mavericks about to go on the power play for the first time of the game with 1 minute and 15 seconds having ticked off here in the first period. To direct their guys when you're going into the wall to go in with your shoulder to the boards instead of face to the boards, hopefully helping you blunt any kind of attack that may come from that direction. Jack with a face-off wins. First shot's blocked. Second shot is rocketed over the goal by Fleming. Here's Court right now out of the corner. We'll paddle it along to T-squared, and now this one worked up high. Here's Fleming with a wrister. That one blocked away. T-squared behind. In front. Oh, he had Courtright there, but that one flicked off his stick and goes back to center ice. Minute 5 still to go in this power play. Here's Jack trying to stuff it along for Courtright. Chipped off the glass by St. Peter's. Mavericks can't get it, and it's hoisted back into the Omaha end. Mavericks will retrieve as the penalty killers change up for St. Peter's. 2 minutes gone here in the first period. Fleming twists his way into the offensive zone. He'll tap it to the end wall. First forechecker is T-squared. Oh, he was setting up that man for a big freight train hit. Now here's Vinny. Vinny behind the net, stashes this one out. It's the boss, had his rink-wide feed knocked down, but he keeps it alive and stokes it back to the corner where Vinny takes over. Vinny up the wall. Fleming there, able to keep it alive. Here's Vinny, nice backhander in front. Oh, he had gas charging the net, but that one shanked wide. Now, there's Taz. Good centering feed, but collared by St. Peter's. They'll bring it up with just a nickel's worth of penalty kill time remaining. At center ice, flipped along by Vinny. He'll charge in after it. Has Taz on his right wing. Oh, he got it right in front to him, but he couldn't hang on. And St. Peter's will try to clear the zone. Allers kept it alive, but then got poke checked. And back the other way comes St. Peter's with it. Dumped in from center. Back to 5-on-5 hockey with 10 to go here in the first period. Played to Paxson at the wall. Paxson the outlet to Allers. Allers had it knocked off his tape, but he got it back onto Paxson. Charging in down the wing. He'll knife his way in. Oh, he had the top corner labeled, but just missed it. Kept alive. Good keep by Ike. Now it's Schneider chasing down. Left corner. Paxson working against 2. Doing a good job to hold his ground. Allers there as well. Trying to keep that one from getting cleared up the boards. This one got past Dandy and will roll back into the Junior Mavericks end. Wyatt Ike back on this, cuts back against the grain, left it off at an empty wing. Allers there, stick lift, forces that one free, and here comes Ike now. Ike will bustle ahead. He's got Charlie with him, gives it to Charlie. He moves in, couldn't get off the shot. Good stick lift by the St. Peter's defender. Charlie then spilled, but not before keeping it alive. Sent ahead, Charlie able to steal. He'll shoot and score! Charlie Patera off the turnover, able to wrist one home, and the Junior Mavericks have the early lead. It's 1-0.
Good pressure here. Omaha getting some dangerous attacks in the offensive zone that I think we're seeing that weakness that Omaha's exposing on this St. Peter's team.
Really been able to put some good forechecking pressure on and keep that puck in the offensive zone, and that's what happened there to lead to Charlie's goal. Bears got it off the face-off win, looking for the other Davis. Jack Davis found him there, but he had it knocked away. Taken back by Jack at center ice. He lost the handle. Wyatt Tremaine will send it ahead, and Jack dumps it in deep. There goes Sturbs in on the forecheck as it's rimmed around. Bears stepping in. Pestered on the play, threw it toward the slot. Collared by St. Peter's. Good keep, though, by the boss, as he's able to play it back in deep. Now it's Tremaine. Jousting there, but this pops free. St. Peter's will outlet it. Loose at center off more good back checking by Boston Gas. Gas has it now, moving his feet through traffic. Here comes the boss moving in 1-on-3. He moves in, couldn't pull the trigger on the backhander. He lays it back to the slot. That pass broken up. T-squared keeps this one alive and spikes it back to the end wall. St. Peter's plays it around. Bear the pinch. Bear moving across the goal line. Now forced off behind. Has Keeney in front. Bear still hanging on. Will hand it on back. Here's the boss with a shot. Blocked away in front. And St. Peter's will bring it ahead. They've got the numbers. Abram hurrying back to negate the advantage. Here comes St. Peter's moving through. And a good job by Abram on the back check to break up that play. And Courtright will clear it back out to center ice. T-squared will pitchfork this one in. Junior Mavericks on the shift change. 7.5 to go, first period. 1-0. Junior Mavericks with the lead on the goal by Charlie Patera. Out at center ice. Taz back to the defense. Now handed on up. Bumped down was Abram. The follow-up comes from Ike. Here's Wyatt Ike trying to knife his way to the slot. Got it there for Taz. Oh, didn't get good lumber on the shot. He threw it back in front again and had Heater there, but couldn't get it. Now it's Allers. Sidesteps a check, lost the puck. And it's carried back up by St. Peter's. They've got the numbers, but the Mavericks charging back to negate the advantage. Here they come in for a shot, and that one sails wide. Puck to the corner. St. Peter's has it. Centering feed. Directed out to center. And the shot from the point as the Junior Mavericks touch up. A penalty coming up, and Omaha will be shorthanded for the first time in this game. Well, this one's had a good pace to it, Matt. The Junior Mavericks have been moving their feet real well. They'll have to do that especially well here on this penalty kill.
I think that's probably as close as I'll get without cutting off ice.
Jack, Paxson up front.
Good call.
Nandy and Bear on the back end killing off this penalty. Penalty was to Will Fleming. Puck loose in the slot. Bear's got it. Little nudge off the wall. Paxson chasing this one down, but got poke checked by the long reach of the big defenseman of St. Peter's. Loose at center ice. Jack trying to get control. St. Peter's has it. They move in. Shot dubbed, and it goes to the corner off the ricochet. Played around to the far side. Here's a drive. Good block there. And this one charged after by Paxson. Paxson moving in shorthanded will take the shot, save, rebound, save. And it's loose, but the goalie's got it underneath him somewhere in his gear, and he'll hang on for a face-off. Good work by Paxson there, just playing right through that defender after blocking the shot. Change of the penalty killers. Abram, Vinny, the boss, and Wyatt Ike. This one cleared out by St. Peter's. Ike knocked it down, but St. Peter's has it again. Lost in traffic off a good poke check. Thrown ahead, too far for Abram. St. Peter's has it again. Headmanned on, player mishandles, batted back the other way. Vinny couldn't get it. St. Peter's will lift it over the stick of Boss, and Ike racing back to get it. A little collision there. St. Peter's has the puck. Just 25 seconds to go. And Beast did he get knocked down in front of his own net? And it looked like maybe bumped into the cage, knocking it off its mooring. So that stops the clock. Junior Mavericks have managed 2 shots on this penalty kill. That off the rush from Paxson. 5:43 our time to go in the first period. Remains a 1-0 lead for the Junior Mavericks. Abram will again dig in for the faceoff. Won it. Then got it caught in his feet. This one squibs out to the point. Shoveled along by St. Peter's, and the soft shot from traffic is easily steered aside by Beast. Big collision in the corner. That forces the puck free. Abram sends it around to the far side. Ike will push it ahead, and here's Vinny now. The final 5 of this penalty kill for the Junior Mavericks. Vinny coming in shorthanded. Bad angle shot saved by the goalie. He juggled the rebound, but his defenseman able to take it away, and this one cleared back out to center. Boston has this one from the red. He'll bang it back in. We're back to 5-on-5, and the Junior Mavericks get the shift change on. Played up the boards, held by Boston. Thrown through the slot and wide. St. Peter's will take over and clear it out to center. Junior Mavericks on the regroup effort now. Here's Bear now, trying to twist his way in, got stripped. Bad change, and the Junior Mavericks have to hurry back. Paxson charging back to deny a good scoring chance there. St. Peter's had their shot going wide, but gloved out of the air by the Beast anyway. Now here's Charlie, trying to clear it out of the zone. No sail there. He picked the path of greatest resistance. Here's Allers now trying to settle a tough pass, bouncing. Lost it in the corner. Number of stick lifts along the way. Mavericks still can't clear it out because they keep picking the spot where there are the most St. Peter's players. St. Peter's pivoting out for a shot. Good waffle save by the Beast. Puck loose in front. This one chipped ahead. Paxson couldn't get it. And that puck just will not settle down for the Junior Mavericks as it's finally taken over by Charlie. Charlie trying to do it all himself there and got run to the wall. Puck is just finally knocked out to center ice. And St. Peter's will take back, although their pass is errant. And the Junior Mavericks have it again. Headmanned on. Allers able to take it. Sidesteps one check and pushes it ahead. Being whacked out the whole way. Gets it in deep. And now we'll go for a change. Good play there just to give his team a chance to finish off that shift change. Nandy pinches. Good job to keep it alive. Here's Charlie pivoting out. Oh, and he rang one off the crossbar. Taken back by St. Peter's. They give it up. Here's Charlie, another shot, and that one blocked away by the defense in front.
Nice
Wyatt
hustle.
Tremaine charging in after that rebound. Had it poked off his stick. Loose along the wall, and this one shoveled ahead by Jack Davis. Puck played by a high stick. Now it's touched by St. Peter's, and that call is waived. Back to the point. Shot by Fleming. Blocked in front. Here's Sturma trying to walk his way in. Rebound chance for Wyatt Tremaine, and he scores.
Is that Taz?
Wyatt Tremaine with the rebound chance off of the initial shot by Braden Sturba.
Woo!
And late here in the first period, the Mavericks double their lead. It is now 2-0. Well, that's a good response for the Junior Mavericks, Matt. It was a little bit of a fire drill back in their own end there just a few moments ago, but they were able to settle things down, get it back deep, and really get the forecheck going again.
Definitely holding the blue line really well every time the puck gets in the offensive zone.
Yeah, the defensemen have done a terrific job at that. Jack Davis out on the face-off. Fleming has it, taken to the boards and glass, couldn't get it in deep. St. Peter's now regrouping. Defenseman whiffs on the outlet pass, and Wyatt Tremaine will get it back to the end wall. Wyatt's pass misfires. And a good stick there by Wyatt Ike slows St. Peter's in transition. Wyatt Tremaine will play it back in on the backhand, and the Junior Mavericks get a shift change on. Clock continuing to hit the smaller numbers, down to 2:35 to go here in the first period. Here's Ike now. Couldn't find any room. Played back in deep by St. Peter's. Racing after it is T-Squared. T-Squared trying to pull that puck off the boards, had trouble with it. Finally, Abram takes over. He'll chip it off the wall and in. Jake Courtright on the forecheck. Forces a bad pass. Here's T-Squared walking in. He'll fire. High one. That one knocked away by the goaltender. Rebound loose in front. T-Squared's got it again. He's carried off to the boards and glass in the corner.
Whoa.
And then a sandwich job on the St. Peter's player as Keeney joins the mix. And the puck is reversed back around.
Nice,
Good job
Jake.
by Courtright. Forces that puck free.
a turnover.
In front. Here's T-Squared with a backhander. Weakly on goal. The save made. And the goalie will squeeze it. Good for everybody getting involved in the forecheck here. And Keeney getting involved with a couple of the St. Peter's players here after the whistle is sounded. Made the mistake of turning away at the last minute. Did not see what precipitated that.
St. Peter's getting a little agitated, a little bit more physical play coming out on the ice now.
Shift change on. Allers, Vinny, Taz out along with Boss and Bear. The St. Peter's coach asking for an explanation from the referee, I imagine, as to, nobody got a penalty out of that, so there was just admonishment.
I think the little bit of extra chirping and pushing after the whistle there forced the ref to remind the opponent's team to really reel it in.
Allers on the face-off. Won by St. Peter's, trying to clear it out. Good job by Boston holding his ground. Now Allers has it, moving with it. Tried a little flip in traffic, batted away. Boston follows. His shot blocked away. St. Peter's will bring it back up ice. Bear had it squirt through his feet, so he's got to track it down. Two St. Peter's players after him as he floats it up the wall. It squirts through the defense. And here goes Vinny on the forecheck. It's one rimmed around. Taz collides there. Scooped up. Allers able to dispossess his man of the puck. It's loose and shoveled by Vinny back to the end boards. He and Taz head in on the forecheck. Pass up the wall, batted down. Bear's got it. Allers had his back. And finally, St. Peter's will pry it off the boards and send it out to center. Carried in by St. Peter's. Their man sent flying by Boston. Flipped ahead. The pass for Paxson misfires. Their defenseman able to steer it to the boards at center ice. But Omaha's got it again as we're in the final minute here of the first period. Good battle right there along the boards. Bear got checked off the puck. Here comes St. Peter's back the other way. Boston came across to close off that. And Bear will send to the wall where he finds Paxson. Calling for it rink wide is Charlie, but the pass goes into the feet of the referee, and that whole play breaks down. Charlie's got to make something of this now. Here's Charlie. He's got one of the Omaha goals. Runs into the big defenseman. Forces his way to the corner. Puck, though, taken over by St. Peter's. They can't clear it out, but as Omaha touches, the call will come down, and Charlie's going to go for interference. He played the man instead of the puck in the corner, and that'll put the Junior Mavericks down a man for the second time in this game.
Getting a little agitated now. This is not good because we're only not even halfway through game one, and we'll face them 3 times in a row. So this is going to be a long weekend of penalty minutes if tempers start to flare this early in a 3-game series.
Well, Matt, neither team has shied away from playing physically, which I guess is good. They're playing the game the right way, but you do get under a guy's skin if you continue to play that way. Unless they score quickly, this is a penalty that will carry over into the second period for the Mavericks as Beast makes that save on the point shot from St. Peter's. Abram out there along with Wyatt Tremaine. Nandy and Fleming are the blue liners. Puck won back by St. Peter's. Here's a hammer shot that one may have been partially deflected. It goes wide and to the corner. And the horn will sound, ending the first period.
If the game starts to get too gruesome, I can always pan around behind us and give you some soothing figure skate practice that can calm everybody's nerves and ease the tensions of a high intense, gruesome hockey game.
Well, it certainly was a good start, Matt. Oftentimes we have talked about how the Junior Mavericks have trouble scoring the first goal. That was not the case here. Charlie did a great job taking advantage of a turnover to pop in the first goal. And then Wyatt Tremaine off a good play, just going to the net, finding the rebound, and popping that one in for goal number 2.
Yeah, way to go, Wyatt Tremaine. Being down low, the smaller guy, crashing the net, just like every coach would teach the team. So just being in position right there in front of in the dirty zones, in that right in front of the net, in the slot as we call it, from the top of the circle to the bottom of the circle, right in between them, right in front of the net. That's where the dirty work happens. It's like being in the paint in basketball. Yeah. That's where all the action happens. That's the best place to shoot from, and that's where defense is the most aggressive for clearing offense out of their zone. So, way to go, Omaha, and holding the blue line, right?
Yes, that's been terrific. The defensemen have done a great job of that. Apparently, St. Peter's picked up a penalty at the end of the first period. And so we're going to play 4-on-4 for 1:19, and then we'll have a similar 11-second power play for the Junior Mavericks. Not sure I didn't see anything happen there. Here comes Nandy. He'll lead the rush, moving up from the blue line. Nandy cutting in with it on his backhand, throws it in front. He was trying for Abram, who had gotten knocked down. Nandy now will chase to the corner. St. Peter's tries to reverse it. No sail there, so they bring it up the near side. Tremaine is back playing the other defensive spot, usually manned by Nandy. Now we reset.
Oh, no.
Fleming had a chilly dip off his stick. St. Peter's has it, trying to center. Fleming trying to fight it up the wall. He'll take it. Lost the handle, but it goes right to Abram. And Abram leaned on, but able to send it ahead. And here's Fleming. Fleming trying to cut in. He did for a shot. Blocked away by the goalie. Big rebound in front. This one handed on back to the point, but it's kept by Nandy. Nandy sidesteps one. Wanted to go rink wide to Tremaine. Wyatt knocked down by the bigger player. And the puck will squib free. Can Nandy get to it first? Yes, to keep it alive. St. Peter's will finally clear this one out to center ice. In 15 seconds, Omaha will get its man back. Abram lost that at center ice. Played in by St. Peter's. We'll see what kind of adjustments these teams have made here after the first intermission. This puck is sent all the way down, and it should go for icing, and it does. Stopping the clock with 11:40 to go in the second period.
Caught out there for a marathon shift there. Dang near that whole minute and 30 of the start of the second period. That four-man line stuck out there. So they were gassed, and that was a smart icing by Fleming.
Ahler's court right, T-squared, out along with Boss and Ike. One ahead by Ahler's, but he couldn't find a friendly stick. Held for a shot from the point. Beast makes the save. And this one played by the Boss all the way down. It'll go for an icing and another defensive zone face-off as we return to 5-on-5 hockey. Won by St. Peter's. Ike plays to himself up the wall. He's got Courtright on his left as he brings it ahead. Here's Ike looking in front. Oh, he wanted Courtright. The pass just behind him a little bit. T-Squared able to hawk this loose puck. Then had it knocked off his tape. Ike's got it and gives back to T-Squared. Out of the corner, in front, wanted Courtright. And that pass just sails on by. Puck loose along the wall. St. Peter's has it, and they'll bring it out. This one pitchforked in, wide of Beast. Grabbed back by T-Squared. T-Squared dangling away from the forechecker, trying to outlet it to Allers. That pass blocked down. St. Peter's will take it back at center and clear it in. They wave off the icing, and so Wyatt Ike's got to play this one. Shrugs off one check. Headman's too far for Allers, kept at the point. Batted back to the corner. St. Peter's has it, trying to find a high man. Good read on that by T-Squared, and it's a 3-on-2 the other way. Off of Allers' tape it goes. Courtright will track it down. Played up the boards. Allers knocks this one down, flicked it along, couldn't find a friendly stick. T-Squared on the forecheck, plays it to the corner. Allers pinched off there, able to keep it alive. Here's Allers with it. In traffic, lost him there for a minute. A lot of humanity. As a good bit of back checking by Paxson keeps this one alive. Paxson will chase it down now. He'll get off the sharp angle shot. Goalie makes the save and hangs on. And the clock now stopped with 11:06 to go in the second period. 2-0, Junior Mavericks with the lead. Goals by Charlie Patera and Wyatt Tremaine.
Some good adjustments by St. Peter's there. Really becoming a more even played game with St. Peter's stepping up their game a little bit and keeping the puck a little more in their offensive zone, right?
Face-off win by Jack Davis, steered by Paxson back to Bear from the top of the slot. He'll just toss it to the corner. Now here's Charlie, centering feed knocked down. He's got the big defenseman on him. Paxson there as well as they battle along the end boards. Puck squibs out. Taken over by Paxson, looking for a passing option. Can't find one. And the puck knocked away for the carryout by St. Peter's. Rink-wide feed. Good back check by Nandy. Sends his man tumbling. And Nandy will look to outlet it here. Wanted Charlie, but the pass goes into a maze of feet. St. Peter's back on. They're finding that wide man now for these zone entries. Nandy there, able to staunch that. And he will try to shuffleboard it out, but the referees say it stayed in. And so Bear's got to go back to retrieve. Bear to the wall. Nandy trying to get it through. Just able to eat that one over to Vinny. And now he'll go rink wide for Charlie, who shrugs off the check, but not before nicking it back into the St. Peter's end. Here's Vinny. Good forechecking pressure and a good stick-on puck, able to knock that one away. Vinny's got his hands free, gets it free. Here's Jack with a rising wrister, and that one sails over the net. Bear down the wall, puck gets by him. Jack hustling back to close that opportunity off. Junior Mavericks take it over, and Bear's going to lead the rush. Here's Bear, having trouble with the rolling puck, goes around his man. Bear in, sharp angle chance, pad save of the goaltender. Puck's ricochets out. Charlie back behind the net, really tangled up with one of the defensemen. And the puck is back to Bear at the point. Here's Bear, fanned on his shot. He had pressure, able to keep it alive for a moment before it's cleared out to center ice. Broken play as St. Peter's brings it in. Long range shot, sails wide. Bear took the bump, but got it on for Jack. Jack couldn't dangle with that. It stripped off his stick. Bear will knock it around to Vinny. Vinny trying to tip it out, but could not. Bear will take this chance and send it all the way down for what will be an icing call against the Junior Mavericks. Folks, while we've got this opportunity, we want to thank the businesses that have stepped up and sponsored the Junior Maverick Bantam-Breds. Nebraska Electric Power Sports. We have electric dirt bikes for all ages. Experience the future of electric dirt bikes. We self-fund Nebraska Electric Power Sports. Also want to say thanks to Grandpa Joe at Joe Chalin Tax Services. That's Vinny Heater's granddad. We thank him. Two of our four sponsors that we have to thank as we resume play here. St. Peter's trying to get something going in the offensive zone. Here's Fleming muscling it past the pinching defenseman. Had it whacked off his tape. And the Junior Mavericks come in offside. Our other sponsors, Charleston Homes, providing the best home building experience in Omaha since 2007 and voted #1 Best of Omaha for 2025. Charleston Homes also has its own in-house warranty team to take care of homeowners after closing And as well, our thanks to Cottonwood Salon Suite and Benny Zanjesi for being our original sponsor here this season. Laid in deep. Junior Mavericks on the forecheck in the St. Peter's zone. Here's Fleming at the point. Kind of a knuckle shot that came through, and the goalie reaching up to grab it and hang on for an offensive zone faceoff. Junior Mavericks have managed 3 shots on goal. That last one wouldn't count because it was sailing high over the net. And it'll be Abram out along with Wyatt Tremaine and Sturbs. Fleming and Ike back on the blue line. Here's Sturbs. Good battle going on in the corner. Abram was helping him out there. Junior Mavericks had the puck, but it ended up rolling out to center ice, so Wyatt Ike will just have to knock it back in after the clear. Good job there, too, at the blue line to bat down the clearing pass and get it all the way to the end boards. Here's Sturbs with it now. Sturbs trying to dish it out. Ike had been tangled up with the defender for St. Peter's, who's then pinched off by Sturba. And a good bit of back-checking there by Sturbs. He gets knocked down on the corner, but that puck's in the corner because of the good work of Sturbs. Fleming. Fever-pitched battle along the wall. He'll hack it around. And a tough one for Wyatt Ike, who hasn't get by. I mean, he's got to chase it down. Wyatt is playing left defense, even though he is a right-handed shot. Puck just eked out over the blue line. Courtwright now out there along with Allers. Tremaine needs to come off. He's been out there a while. He will dump it in and head for the change as Courtwright and Allers get in on the forecheck. Played up the boards. Good keep by the Boss. Boss will shovel it back to the far corner. There goes T-squared. Banged up the wall. St. Peter's has it. Goes rink wide with it. Boss hustling after this. Great job of the Boss. Goes around one, trying to walk his way in, but just lost the handle on the puck. And the goalie able to cover up the puck in the blue paint and hang on. 6:49 now to go here in the second period. Both goals the Junior Mavericks have scored came in the first. It's still a 2-0 lead.
Prime example of holding the blue line there by the Boss. That's exactly what we mean. The hustle to keep it in, and then the continued hustle to get an attack on the net.
Yeah, Boston's really moving his feet well here in this game. He will chase back after this foul. Pass off the near wall. T-squared. Able to get it in. It squirts by the defenseman. T-squared trying to cut to the net. He threw it in front. Jack Davis there. That puck ricochets away. Boss was the only man back against 3, and he staunches that breakout chance. And Courtwright will tuck it back in. St. Peter's long-range pass misfires. It'll go for icing against St. Peter's. And one more time, we'll have a stoppage and a face-off back in their zone. Again, that reminder, after this weekend, Junior Mavericks will be in Des Moines next weekend. I will be out for that one, but Matt will bring you all the action of those games from the West Des Moines Recplex. It's a nice facility.
Rest in my voice this weekend.
It should be a real tough tournament for the Junior Mavericks. Boss, that one just popped out over the blue line, and he brought it back in offside. Good try, though. He's done such a good job at that today. And we'll get another face-off. These two teams will meet again at 6 o'clock Central Time today, right back here on this ice. And we'll bring it to you here on YouTube. Courtwright trying to walk in. He got poke checked. Here's T-squared. Good hard shot. Rebound loose in front off the waffle board save. Kept alive by T-squared. Still hanging on. Ran out of passing options. He got stripped, and Boss is going to have to hurry back for this. Boston stripped. Loose puck. Shoveled toward the cage. Never got on goal. Taken back by Jack, and here he comes. Jack with T-squared on his left. Courtwright on his right. They twist into the offensive zone now. Jack took the bump, maintains his feet, has to chase the puck down to the end boards. It's loose there. T-squared's got it. He gets it out for Paxson. And it squirts past him. And then Bear has to chase down now in his own zone. There's Bear looking for some room. He'll wind it up now. Bear bringing it right down the slot. Elects not to shoot. Dropped it back off for Charlie. He was tightly covered. And St. Peter's comes back the other way. It's a 3-on-1. Wyatt Ike, the only man there. Sauce pass across. Oh, and that one just breaks down as the player couldn't hang on to the puck. Headman feedback the other way. Paxson misfired on that. Here's St. Peter's in transition. Shot on goal. That one clanked out of the glove of Beast. Taken back over by Wyatt Ike, but couldn't nudge it up the boards. It's spiked around to the far side, and there is Paxson outletting. And here's Abram with Charlie. Abram moving in. Oh, he went around the defenseman, but lost the handle on the puck. He'll give chase to the end boards. Got pinched off there. Puck played up the far side. Bear trying to hold his ground. Does so. Still in his feet. He got knocked down. Paxson then kind of fanned on his shot chance. And St. Peter's will take and bring back ahead as we're under 4.5 to go here in the second period. Things bottled up at the blue line. Ike and Charlie trying to keep St. Peter's from entering the zone. Ollers trying to fish it out of their feet.
Patera waving to some fans as he's pinned against the glass.
Oh my goodness. Well, he's obviously relaxed. Here's Ollers finally able to fish it out of traffic. And players were still engaged back behind the play. And I think we're going to have one each going off. Charlie and the big defenseman for St. Peter's having words as
well, the girl should be going to the box because she grabbed the back of Patera's head at the end of the game while the play was just finishing. So
yeah, it wasn't.
There's definitely a little over-aggression there at the end of the play.
So we'll play 4-on-4, I believe, unless they elect to go. I think they're going to elect to go 5-on-5. Yeah, they'll even it up and go 5-on-5.
63 is definitely going to be a St. Peter's player to watch. He's an aggressive, large player that got into the pinch play with Patera along the boards there. And once more players started piling up, the aggression just started to build. And luckily, Patera kept it light with a nice wave to the fan, but it didn't end well still.
St. Peter's will play it in deep. There's Fleming. The puck bouncing on him a little bit. They'll wrap it around to the left wing. Vinny, checked by the pinching defenseman. St. Peter's able to keep this one alive. Boss has now. Boss will march it ahead. He's got Taz with him. Taz just couldn't keep himself on side and played lone dead. The forward line is Ollers between Heater and Taz, and the blue line is Boss and Fleming. Puck one to the wall. Taz will get it in deep. There goes Vinny on the forecheck. Taz now, the beneficiary of his hard work. Puck squibs out. Ollers able to take this one, hand it on back. Here's Boss. Shot, and that one sailed over the net. Taz first to the rebound in the corner. Tries to go around the defenseman. Lost the handle on the puck. Ollers had his back, trying to finesse it through the feet of the defenseman. Vinny there as well. To his side, they scrum for it. Now St. Peter's gets a third man in there. This one pulled free. Ollers has it, went around one. Lost the handle on the puck. And the Junior Mavericks have to regroup at center. Here's Fleming. Fleming took the bump. Got it on though for Taz. Taz will play it in deep. Vinny charging in after this. Shoulders with the St. Peter's player. Shift change on for the Mavs. Jack just off the bench. Couldn't handle the pass. It squirts out to center ice and is promptly snapped back in by Fleming. 2:35 now to go here in what has been a scoreless second period to this point. Remains a 2-0 Junior Mavericks lead. Here's Sturbs on the forecheck. Fleming holds the keep. Can't clear it out though. St. Peter's, and here's a chance by Jack, and a good glove save by the goaltender who will hang on.
Good goaltending there by St. Peter's. A lot of traffic in the front. Jack turned one over right in the slot, and then a lot of power behind that wrister. Goalie read it right into the glove. That was a good attack by the Omaha Mavericks there.
Testing my memory to remind myself what the shots were after the first period, but I don't think St. Peter's has had more than 1 or 2 shots on goal.
I want to say it was 12-6.
That's what I was thinking. I think it was 9-6.
That could be.
Gives the Junior Mavericks 5 here in this period, make it 6 as the goaltender has to smother this rebound in the crease. 2:12 now to go in the second period. Jack, Sturbs, Tremaine, out along with Boss and Nandy. Bear and Nandy.
The score aside, that tells you some of the story of how the game's going with the shots on goal, right? Omaha out shooting, definitely outplaying a little bit right now with a little extra momentum.
St. Peter's gets a man behind the defense, but couldn't take the pass. And Beast juggled that one for a moment. He benefited from a quick whistle and does finally hold on for a face-off.
Luckily, he was able to recover really quickly there, so it was an appropriate whistle, but it was bobbled, and St. Peter's got excited for the moment.
Jack again leans in for the face-off. He wins it. Sturber got stripped as he tried to walk through traffic. Here's Jack. Jack pestered from behind, lost the handle on the puck. St. Peter's, good play in traffic. The player didn't seem to be ready for it. Nandy breaks that up. Sturbs will get it in deep and give chase. Sturbs charging in. Puck sent to the far wall. Nandy, good pinch. He'll stash it along before it's taken back by St. Peter's. And they will twist their way back up ice. Broken up by Jack at center. St. Peter's can't enter the zone. T-squared just off the bench. High bouncing puck. And this one played back in by the Junior Mavericks. 1.25 minutes now to go here in the second period. Good keep by Nandy. That one will be brief as it's brought back out by St. Peter's. 3-on-2 developing if they hurry. Long-range wrister. Save made by Beast. Jack Davis first on it. Couldn't clear it out. This one sent through the slot and wide. And Bear will take this one over and ladle it on up for T-squared. He's got Court right with him. Here comes T-squared moving in. Shot deflected away. T-squared first, Court right first on it. Lays it back to the point, but it was empty. Ike was in the middle of a shift change. Now Wyatt Ike has. He'll backhand it in. St. Peter's back out. Really hasn't been a bit of a chess match here, Matt, in this second period. Here's Ike now. Ike moving in, cuts to the slot, takes the shot, save, rebound loose in front, followed up by Keeney, but knocked away. Abram bidding for his first goal of the season as this one gets past Bear. He's got to hurry back and recovers just in time as St. Peter's looking at a 2-on-1. T-squared back on, long-range shot. Snapped in the glove of the goaltender, and with 9.5 seconds to go here in the second period, we'll have an offensive zone face-off for the Junior Mavericks. 16-8 shots on goal, and where it counts, they've got a 2-0 lead.
Not seeing a second goaltender for St. Peter's, so good job by the goaltender to reset at that period end, because he's made some terrific saves in the second period to keep this game 2-0.
Hollers on the face-off as we have one last line change. Puck trickles to the corner. Paxson behind the net. Here's Hollers trying to center. He'll take the shot himself, and the save made by the goaltender as the horn sounds, ending the second period.
Definitely saw those adjustments by St. Peter's there. Goaltending, reset, and a nice change of aggression there that really put Mavericks a little bit more even with St. Peter's team. However, Mavericks out shooting at both periods, right? They're still not quite caught up to the Omaha Mavericks, but they're definitely slowing the pace of this game down to hang in there, especially needed for a 3-game series for these two teams.
Matt, we always like to talk about how the next goal is a big one, and certainly with a 2-0 lead, the Junior Mavericks, they'd rather be getting that next goal instead of giving it up. That would make this a much different game. Folks, again, I want to thank our sponsors for these broadcasts all season long, Nebraska Electric Power Sports. They have electric dirt bikes for all ages. We sell fun. Nebraska Electric Power Sports. Also, thanks to Joe Chalin Tax Services. As well, our thanks to Cottonwood Salon Suite. I know Will likes going there. You can't get somebody excited about going to get a haircut usually, but Will likes getting a haircut at Cottonwood Salon Suite. And as well, our thanks to Charleston Homes, providing the best home building experience in Omaha since 2007. All 4 businesses, proud sponsors of OHC's Bantam Reds. Well, third period. We'll switch ends. And I would say, if anything, Matt, it's been hard Mavericks have 16 shots, but it's been hard getting good scoring opportunities here. And as we've seen, the scoring opportunities they've cashed in on have been going hard to the net and being hard on the forecheck. And
on net has always been a continual battle for these young boys too.
Yep. Allers, Paxson, and Charlie to start here in the third period. Allers wins the faceoff. Paxson will chip it in and give chase. Charlie right behind him. Rimmed around to the far side. St. Peter's looking to clear it out. They can't. Keep by Fleming for a wrister, and that one steered aside by the goaltender. To the corner it goes. Charlie will chip it around behind. Little miscommunication. Paxson gets it there. Digs it out for Allers. He sidesteps one check. Allers trying to set it in front. Pass got deflected away, and St. Peter's will bring it back up. Boston defending against the attacking player, able to take the puck away, clear it out. Here's Charlie, banged off his tape. Tried the pivot move, but could not hang on. St. Peter's moving back in. Sharp angle shot, sails behind the net. St. Peter's has it. Allers breaks that up before the shot gets through. St. Peter's will give chase, trying to center it in front. It ricochets out, and a good bit of pressure by Paxson to take it away from the defenseman.
Nice
He'll
puck
bring
protection.
it ahead. Here's Paxson looking across.
Good
has Charlie
pass.
and a shot. Saved. Rebound there in his gear, and he's able to cover as Allers was crashing the net. And no rebound chance available that time around. A minute and a second gone by here in the third.
The puck protection from Paxton to get past his man, and then the wherewithal to feed to the middle right in the circle to get the better shot on goal attempt from a teammate instead of taking that himself. Great execution of a breakaway by the Omaha Mavericks.
Paxton's a smart player, not surprised by that move at all. What a terrific pass he made through, too, to Charlie. Charlie bidding for his second goal of the game, but he'll have to wait as it remains 2-0. Here's Bear, up for Taz. Could not clear it past the defenseman who keeps it alive. Pass to the slot, or top of the circle, really. And the shot never got through. And St. Peter's intentionally carries it out to center ice. That's a break for the Junior Mavericks as Vinny takes the bump and delivers it in. St. Peter's back out with this one. Lobbed in. Bear defending. Centering feed. Ike read that one. Able to steer it up ice. Taz couldn't collect it. Defense keeps it alive and will stoke it back to the far corner. Pass behind. They try to work the give and go. That play breaks down as the attacking player couldn't hang on to the puck. And Bear will sashay up with this one before playing it in from the red line. Bear chases his own dump in. Trying to dig it out to a friendly stick. Couldn't find one. Clearing attempt kept alive. Ike the shot. Blocked down in front. The follow-up from Taz and a pad save of the goaltender. Rebound chance, Vinny. And that one blocked away. Ike back at the point. He'll crank one, and that one blocked down before it got through. Dish back around to the near wing side. Deflected pass, bouncing. Ike steps to the breach. Wyatt Ike moving in. He is 1-2 now on 5. Could not get it through. And this one will be cleared all the way down. It's an icing call against St. Peter's. And that'll idle the clock with 10:16 to go here in the third period.
A little tic-tac-toe by St. Peter's in the offensive end before Omaha was able to break it out. But then good bear down pressure from the Omaha Mavericks once they gained the zone. So definitely some dangerous play from both teams here. That's creating some exciting hockey.
Abram, Wyatt, Sturbs. Sturbs has it now off of Abram's faceoff win. Good bit of jousting there as Fleming's shot takes the stick right out of the hands of the defender. St. Peter's has it. Try to clear it out. Fleming reaches out with a big long stick, able to keep it alive for now. And there's Sturbs. Sturbs running over his man and able to keep this thing in the offensive zone. Here's Abram now trying to get it across to Tremaine. Abram got knocked down and is slow to get up as St. Peter's brings it back up ice. Good job by Fleming to stand up his man. He'll play it in from the red line. Heaney on the forecheck. Abram a collision there, sends his man tumbling. Puck loose. It squibs out to the slot, but St. Peter's will take it back over. Long up ice pass, misfires. It goes all the way in on Beast, who gets that one with a goalie stick. And the Mavericks able to take back yet again. Angle pass to Courtright just off the bench. Spiked off his stick. St. Peter's has it again. Pass intercepted at center. Here's Fleming swirling back down the near side. Will Fleming with it on his backhand. Pulls it to the forehand and threw it in front. Nearly ricocheted in off the defenseman. Here's Fleming again, looking for a shooting lane. Can't find one, needed a pass. And St. Peter's trying to send their man breaking back the other way. Good bit of back checking there by both Nandy and Allers. That play likely would have broken down. Head man pass, deflected away. It'll trickle to the goal line. St. Peter's has it, T-squared in. Good boot job there by Fleming to keep this one alive. Here's Courtright now. Courtright in the slot, wanted Allers. He got the shot, blocked away, couldn't get the rebound. Now it's Nandy, pinching along the near side to hold it in. Knocked away from him, but Allers will take and pitchfork it to the end wall. St. Peter's back up the near side. Nandy's got it. Hit one of the St. Peter's players. Allers now takes a shot. Ricocheted on the way through, but covered by the goaltender. Did a good job to follow that tip. And he'll hang on. Is that the 20th shot registered on goal by the Junior Mavericks here in this game? 8:14 still remaining here in the third. It's a 2-0 lead for Omaha. Out will come Jack Davis, Charlie Patera, Paxton Schneider, Boston Gas, and Wyatt Ike. Face-off win. Paxton gives it up to Ike. Now across for Boss. Couldn't handle that one cleanly. St. Peter's will muscle it back out to center. Played back ahead. This one ricochets off one of the defenders. Charlie's got it. He'll shoot. Deflected over the net. Paxton in. Stick left. Took the bump from behind. And lost the puck. This one played around the kick plate. Good pinch there by Ike. Puck loose in the slot. Paxton looking for it. Couldn't find it. Here's Ike. Wanted a little tap in traffic. St. Peter's broke that one up. They're very good at closing down those passing lanes. And that'll be something the Junior Mavericks will likely want to try to adjust to in the second game. That we'll bring for you tonight at 6 o'clock Central Time. 7:25 remaining here in the third period as St. Peter's gets it in deep. Boston able to take over on the loose puck and headman it on, and Paxton had a step on the defender. He moves in, has Charlie, and leads him with a pass. Charlie tracks this one down, but couldn't handle it cleanly. The Junior Mavericks will go for a shift change now as St. Peter's brings it up. Deflected pass, good back check there by Charlie to cut that one off. He sidesteps one defender, sidestepped another, and now on the backhand will swipe it to the end wall. Abram is there. He's got Vinny in front. Abram hanging on. He'll play it up high. Here's Wyatt Ike. Ike to Patera. Didn't get good lumber on that one. He's got two players on him now, and his hands all closed off. As Vinny is in to dig it out, Boston shovels one wide of the cage. Ike is down from the right point. Wyatt Ike circling the net, still hanging on. Pivots out on his forehand, wanted to lay it across to Abram. Deflected pass goes awry. Abram still with it. Could not send it back to the point. St. Peter's tried to clear, but couldn't. Thrown on goal. Goaltender had it ricochet off him. And St. Peter's able to take it back as out they come with it. Lifted in from the red line. 1-4 checker as Boston is back to get for his side. Quickly swirled up the left wing side. This goes too far for Vinny, but it won't make the goal line. And so icing not called. The clock continues to move now under 6 minutes to go here in the third period. St. Peter's moving it ahead. Good speed by the attacking player. Will drop it off inside the blue line. Little sauce back in front. That play broken up. Here's Taz with it now. Taz had it knocked in. Taz closed off. Puck loose. Allers jousting for it and able to take it away. He will lob it over the head of Taz and back into the St. Peter's zone. They call for icing here, and that will stop the clock now with 5:27 to go in a fast-moving third period. It needs to be fast too, Matt, because in 10 minutes, I got to leave with my daughter for her hockey practice over at Moto. I figured we'd be pushing it at, if we left here at 12:25, and we are going to be pushing it.
If I hear the mic drop, I'll know to take over.
Yeah, you'll know to take over, please. Face-off win. St. Peter's has it. Good job by the player protecting the puck as Allers is all over. She got rubbed out. Allers trying to hack it through. Didn't get much lumber on that one, but it's cleared out. And here's Courtright now chasing it down. The goaltender coming out. Courtright in for a quick score! Jake Courtright just inside the near post. And that all-important next goal goes to the Junior Mavericks. It is now 3-0.
Woo! 5 minutes left. That's the go-ahead that they were looking for, wasn't it?
Good job by Jake, too. He could feel that pressure coming from the inside and didn't hang on to it too long. He got off the shot. He figures if it's not a goal, there's maybe a rebound chance there. Didn't have to worry about a rebound chance. St. Peter's will bring it up. They try to step in, but the play broken up. Junior Mavericks will clear it out to center ice. Good job along the wall by T-Squared. He's got Courtright with him. Got stood up at the blue line. Then Allers brought it in offside.
Just inked offside.
And that one will stop the clock yet again. 4:51, our time remaining in the third period.
T-Squared doing pirouettes there through the neutral zone to try and gain territory.
At this point in time, you're leading 3-0. It's late in the game. Just get it in deep and go forecheck. You don't need anything fancy, right?
The old dump and chase.
Yep. Keep it simple and keep it safe.
Just like that, Ike.
Ike dumped it in and went off a stick. Did a good job to hold the clearing attempt. He's got Tremaine with him, the two Wyatts in the offensive zone right now, but St. Peter's has it. Been impressed, Matt, by the skating of St. Peter's. They've done a good job today. And a penalty coming up. I believe this is going to be against the Junior Mavericks. It's going to be a hooking call. And Sturbs is going to go off with 4:28 remaining. This will be the third power play, I believe, for St. Peter's. One of them lasted only 11 seconds. So Sturbs goes off. Jack will stay out there along with Tremaine, Ike, and Fleming. No clear winner on that face-off. It was kind of a stalemate. Here's Fleming, a little scoop job to get it back out to neutral ice, and that one got past the defender. Here's Tremaine. He's going to press his case. Play to the wall, not out. Jack able to keep it alive. Jack tangled up, could not hang on. Good job by Fleming just to send that one back to the corner and keep St. Peter's bottled up. Already 30 seconds gone on their man advantage. Puck drifts back to the blue line. Jack able to keep it alive for a moment. St. Peter's finally gets it back into the Omaha zone, but it's Fleming right there once more to wedge it off the boards back to center. St. Peter's back in, centering feed. Tremaine's got it. Off the pass from Ike. St. Peter's can't hold the blue line, and they've got to go back and recoil in their own zone. Now just 35 to go in that man advantage, and here's Tremaine putting the pressure on again, forced the puck free. Good recovery by St. Peter's, but they can't mount much of an attack here as the Mavericks are closing the gap. St. Peter's able to get to a loose puck and get off a shot. Pad save made by Beast, and this one floated back out to neutral ice. Final quarter of a minute of power play time for St. Peter's, as it's a one-man attack for now. Kochek denies him any more space. And Will Fleming will wind it up as the final seconds wink off on this power play. It's now over. He shrugs off a freight train hit. Couldn't get off the shot as he got stripped. Puck loose to the wall. Paxton's got it. Paxton dangling with it at the blue line. Got knocked out to center. Wyatt Ike's going to have to take over here. Here's Wyatt. Knocked a bit off his feet. Able to chase down to the corner. Battling away there. Looking to go in front. He had Charlie stationed there. Abram in there as well. Here's Charlie getting off a shot. That one ramped off his stick and misfires. Boston holding the point. Boston goes around the attacking player. Took the shot. Save. Rebound loose. Keeney trying to tuck it in front. Instead he throws it up high. Here's Boss turning with it and firing. The save made by the goaltender. And the rebound will hop to the wall. And this one brought out by thwart what would have been a good shot. Here's Vinny. Wanted to send it up ice, and this one tried to throw it around the kick plate. Boss now trying to fight this one out. Takes his man to the boards and glass. Puck squirts free. Play along the wall. Here is Taz, head manning it. Vinny's got it. He's got one man to beat. Vinny moving in. He's 1-on-5 and got run off to the boards. St. Peter's bringing it up in the final minute of the game. T-Square just off the bench. Oh, there's a collision along the wall.
Apologize for the interruption, but there was a little hit in front of the bench there, and then bad retaliation from the St. Peter's player. That's going to give
lay off as this puck goes all the way down. They wave off the icing, and so the clock continuing to move in the final 20 seconds here in the third period. It's like an extra penalty got put up. I don't know why they've got an extra penalty up for St. Peter's. Won't matter here. Final seconds winking away, and a good start to the Midwinter Classic for the Omaha Junior Maverick Bantam Red. It's a 3-0 victory, and the shutout. 11 saves for Beast in the win here today.
nice work by both teams. You know, this is a 3-game series that we're going to see this weekend, and St. Peter's didn't play any less. If not, they played harder in that third period, even though they were down 2 and 3 goals to nothing. Great job by St. Peter's. Good goaltending by St. Peter's, and extra great job by the Omaha Mavericks. Holding the blue line, time on attack, relentless shots on goal. I think that was just well played by both teams. Nice even match that we're going to be having throughout the entire weekend.
Yeah, as this is the only team that these two teams will face here in this tournament, very evenly played, and I think that bodes well for the next 2 games. The next one will be, as we noted, at 6 o'clock tonight, right back here at Moylan at 6 o'clock Central Time. Matt and I will be here to bring you the call. Matt, as I noted before, I got a boogie for a hockey practice, so I'm going to let you wrap things up. Hate to pull the chute on you like this, but you know how that goes.
Absolutely. So
and thanks everyone for listening.
3-0, a big victory for the Omaha Mavericks to start off this 3-game series for the Midwinter Classic here at Moylan Ice Arena. Goals by Charlie Patera, Wyatt Tremaine, and Jacob Courtright led to a 3-0 victory and a big goose egg shutout for the Beast, Easton newcomer. And so we'll be back at 6 o'clock, same ice rink to face off against the same team, potentially different colors here, but we'll be facing this team 3 times this weekend, and glad we're starting off with a big victory.